Hey everyone, welcome to the product strategy course brought to you by Path to Product. Super excited to share this with you today. This is something that I created to help myself, and it's worked very, very well at two different companies now, two different industries, two different roles. So I was a core PM in HR tech, and now I'm a growth PM in fintech. And this product strategy framework has helped create alignment and clarity around what our focus should be as a product team and at some levels as a company at my previous company. And so it makes things really easy to understand and helps create alignment through the organization and clarify assumptions that might be left out. So to get started, let's jump right in. All right. So you should be seeing the product strategy template. You'll see that I built this in Miro, but there's going to be a Google Doc version of this that you can make a copy of and be able to fill in your own version of this template. Okay. So in the resource section, you'll find that, but let's start breaking this down at a high level. Okay. The first column we'll come back to. This is something that you fill in later. The very first thing is you need to understand what your goal is, right? So what is the one thing we're trying to accomplish this year, this month, this quarter, if nothing else? Like, what is the primary goal, right? Outside of that, what is the core challenge? Like, what is the thing in your way from hitting that goal? There could be multiple challenges, but what is the most immediate challenge we need to address to make the progress that we're trying to make as an organization? If you can understand that and identify that and how overcoming that challenge helps move you one step closer to your goal, there might be some chronology, meaning if there's multiple challenges to hit the goal, what's that first challenge logically that makes sense to attack first, right? That's what you would call out here. And then a guiding policy is really what are the constraints we're going to place on ourselves to create focus and alignment on how we approach overcoming that above challenge, right? And I'll give some examples later on through the course to make this really come home and make this really tangible for you. But just know that this is really about constraints and guardrails to help focus how you attack that challenge, right? And so it's a little more thematic, meaning that it's an overarching policy. We get down to specific initiatives and actions or to-dos in this coherent action space. So what are the initiatives that we're going to take on within the constraints we've defined above, right? So we have kind of an overarching constraint of these are the parameters within will work. And then within those parameters, here are the things that make sense that we can do guided by the policy to overcome the challenge, right? And then what are the expected outcomes? So what do we expect the outcomes of the above initiatives to be? And do they align with the overarching goal, right? And so those two things have to be in alignment, the goal and the outcomes. So there's a little bit of the like OKR methodology kind of baked into here when the goal could be called the objective. So if you're an OKR driven company, you can change goal to objective, right? Just to make the terminology work with what language you use inside of your company. Right. And once you have this, right, really once you have the guiding policy, you can come up with phase titles. And I'll show you what mine look like. For Path to Product is the example I'll use here in a little bit. But really, like, what is the theme of this phase in your strategy, right? And there could be multiple phases. And I'll also give examples of how product strategy can be multi-pronged and multi-phased based on your long-term vision or a longer-term understanding of where you need to go, right? But even if you do have that longer-term understanding, it's good to break things down into chunks based on the immediate goal, immediate challenge to that goal, and then everything else that follows. So with that, I'll see you inside the rest of the course as we start to break this down section by section with some real-life tangible examples. So I'll see you there. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this introduction to developing product strategy. If you want to see the rest of the course, click the link below to join us at pathtoproduct.io. Inside the community, you have access to one-on-one coaching with me, There's other very experienced PMs there willing to help and answer questions. We have exclusive content and other great resources, including a product management certifications course that's experience-based and hands-on. So it's not theory, what are these frameworks, and theoretically, how are you supposed to approach this? But it gives you an opportunity to step-by-step take a project from end to end and get feedback on it and get a certification and help finding a job. So if you're trying to get into product for the first time, that's a really great resource to do it. Come join us at Path to Product, and we'll see you inside.